We are going to build a savings annuity schedule. So a schedule for a financial transaction like this is just period by period, in this case, month by month. So we're going to make a table that looks like this image right here. So we're on part one here, and the savings annuity future sum. What we want to do is pick a monthly payment that we're going to put in the bank every month for a while. And we'll have an APR related to the account that we end up in, and then we're going to pick a future amount we want to aim toward and see how long it takes us to save up to get that future amount. Now, as we're putting money in, interest is accumulating on our balance. So we're going to calculate all that. So what we'll need to do is make a spreadsheet with these headings here, and then pick what we want for the future amount to be, the APR, annual percentage rate for the account, and what our monthly payment is going to be. And then we're going to calculate some things. We're going to have a formula for payment, interest amount, balance increase, and balance. So let's do it. So I got a new spreadsheet here, and I want to keep track of the months, and that's just going to be a number, and the date that I'm sending my money in each month, the payment that I'm sending in, the interest amount each month that we get from the account balance. The balance is going to change each month, so we want to see what the balance change is. In this case, it's going to be a balance increase. And we want to know what the current balance is. And then other things that we want to keep track of are, let's see, we need to know our annual percentage rate off to the side here. We want to know our single payment, and we're just going to reproduce that in the payment column. We want to pick a future amount to aim toward. And we're eventually going to figure out the years. So I'm going to leave a space here. And so I need to pick these things. So my APR, let's say I'm going to find an account that's going to pay, right now, we'd be lucky to get 2.5%. And for a payment, I'm going to say I can afford $150. And for a future amount, let's say I want to accumulate $20,000. And then let's format those two as currency. Make them pretty. Cool. All right. Now over here, starting, we're going to put a month 0 in there. And our balance is going to start off with 0. And then here's where the formulas are going to start. As far as month go, there's no formula for that really. We're just going to type a 1. And as for a date, let's say we're going to start putting money in today. So today is August 10. And you could pick any. I'm going to pick August 1st. Let's say I already put the money in. And as far as payment, I'm not going to retype the payment I chose to the right. I'm just going to say equals whatever number I picked over there. For the interest amount that we calculate each time period, that's just simple interest. So that's the amount of money that I have times the interest rate times the amount of time that went by. So the amount of money in my account right now is in the previous row balance. So we select that. We're going to multiply that by the interest rate over here. And then we're going to multiply that by 1/12 of a year because 1 month has gone by. Now about this formula here, the balance in F2 here, that's going to change all the time. So I want it to just say F2. The interest rate is fixed in cell H1. So to tell this spreadsheet to always look in cell H1, since I'm filling down, that changes a row number, I'm going to put a $sign in front of the 1. So this says when I copy this formula down later, don't touch the 1 because that's always where you'll find the interest rate. That's called an absolute cell reference. And similarly for the payment's always going to come from this cell right here. So going back to that formula, we're going to put a $sign in front of the 2 to say always grab it from row 2 there. And I don't have to worry about messing with the H because I'm only filling it down. And that's not going to change the column letter. All right, so we have our fixed formula there. Our next formula has a relative cell reference for the previous balance, right? Up 1/2. The interest is what we call absolute cell reference. That's got a dollar sign saying it's always in row 1 there. And then, so amount, rate, time. All right, balance increase. Well, balance increase is going to come from whatever I pay here. So I'm going to put equals, click on my payment, and then I'm going to add on whatever interest I've collected. And I haven't collected any this month, but next month I will. So that's just relative. Just grab the 2 cells to the left, add them up. For the new balance, we're always going to take the old balance above. So equals, click above, plus, and then we're always going to grab the balance increase right there to the left. And that again is both relative cell references because we always want the previous balance above plus whatever our balance increase is going to be. So my formulas are done. So I can, again, the month and the date aren't formulas, so they fill down different, but payment is a formula and interest amount's a formula and balance increase is a formula and balance is an increase. So I can highlight all 4 of those and then point to the bottom right corner, right? So it's a 2-step process. First, you highlight what you want to fill. Then you point to the autofill button, bottom right corner of that group, and click and fill it down. And we're going to fill it down until our balance is as close as possible to the future amount that we want. Now, as far as the dates and month go, since those aren't formulas, we need a pattern of 2 to get it started. So if my first payment is August 1st, my next payment is going to be September 1st. And if that's month 1 above, this will be month 2. So because these aren't formulas, they're number patterns, and a date is really a number, I have to highlight a sample of 2, and then I can fill them down. So I'm going to fill those down to catch up. And you can see it's jumping each month here. And if we click on one of those, it's 2023, and then eventually it's going to jump to 2024. All right, now to fill it down all together, I select a group of 2, or I could have filled them down both separately. And now I can fill all of it down, and I'm just going to keep filling until I get close to, I was hoping for 20,000. All right, so 43 months later, I still got a ways to go. So let's try, oops, I missed. Click on the autofill button and keep filling down. Let's go down over 100 months. And hey, here I am, I got lucky. So between the 117th and the 118th month, I jumped from 19,000-ish, and finally here I'm at pretty close to 20,000. And again, it's a guessing game. So if you fill down, what happens if you fill down too far? Well, let's highlight and say I kept filling. Then what I want to do is just back up to the one closest to my target, that one right there, and then delete everything after that. So I'm just going to highlight everything after, delete, and just get as close as I can. So that was the goal here. All right, if any of that you missed, you can back up the video and try again. All right, so other things I need to know. So I wanted to figure out how many years that was. Before I can get the years, I really should figure out how many months it was. So I'm going to put months here. Based on the months, I can find the years. I want to know what is the total interest I accumulated in this account, total interest. And I also want to figure out what was the total amount paid into the bank. Total paid. Okay, so as far as the months go, I just want to count how many payments I made. So I'm just going to go equals count, and I just want to count everything in the payment column. So it says I made 118 payments to get that. I do not want to fill it down. Now, as far as the years go, years is there's 12 months in a year, so I can take the number of months, click on it, equals, click, divide by 12. So it took 9, almost 10 years. Let's round that a bit. Okay, so that's not 8 months, right? That's 8/10 or 83/100ths of a year. So that's good enough for the years. Total interest. Well, I've been calculating the interest for each month, so we just want to add up the interest column. So that one would be a sum. And we can just click on the interest column because that's the only thing in there. And let's format to be pretty, dollars. All right, so we made $2,341.88 in interest, and the total amount paid is the sum of the payments. So I can just do sum on the payment column. All right, and then make that pretty as numbers. Okay, so I paid in $17,700, $150 at a time. Now, keep in mind, right, how much did I end up with? I ended up with a little over 20,000. So my payments plus my interest is what I ended up with. So I made $2,000, a little over $2,000 on this account with the 2.5% interest. And that's this first part of the assignment. So here I made a savings annuity schedule. So I'm going to come down here to sheet 1. I'm going to call it savings annuity schedule.